Oh my gosh, hey there, hello, Pisces born March 8th. Guys, tell me where you're from. I just want to see my evening sessions, how this is working. Just give me a quick second here as well to look something while I'm waiting for more people to kind of come on board with us. Okay, let me just... I'm uploading something that I just finished working on about this new moon in Taurus, because this is going to be really big. Okay, is this uploading? There we go, publish. Hi Pleiadian Tarot, oh, you're in Alabama. Hi Sally. Hi Dean, hi sweetie. Dean, you're right, we kind of had a sparkling rain, but not too much. It was mostly really nice. Hi Amy, hi Britt. Hey Britt, nice to see you, welcome. Wida, Libra from Virginia Beach. Hi Eva, hi California. Okay, so it's not too early. I was wondering if you guys are going to be still stuck at work. Oh, it's pouring in Alabama. Oh my gosh, it's finally getting into the summery mode here. Cancer. Okay, let me see guys your signs. I actually just published the moment when I came on. And let me just turn on this music so you can actually hear me. Let me see. I'm probably going to stop before I even figure out how to do it. There we go. So what am I going to do today is something really different, because we guys, and I do suggest that after this live you actually check the video that I just released simultaneously about this new moon in Taurus, because it is not just a new moon in Taurus. It is actually kind of more than that. It's going to be everything but Taurus, everything that we kind of expect for this transition. So it's going to be new change. Everything is going to come to surface. It's going to really ruffle our feathers. So look at that, all these usual suspects are here. This is so nice to see. So I'm going to go sign by sign. I'm going to use 3 different decks. I'm going to use the Divine Virtue, I think it's called Romance Angels, Earth Magic, and my I think Mystic Cats or something like that. You can kind of check these decks in my recommendations if you're interested. So simply because it's Earth sign, I really want to honor this new moon, and happy oh, that's what it was, wind and activation. I completely forgot because I started my monthly readings and I really want to do this first. Wind and Stone People. I think it came out when I was asking for what can you tell me about what is ahead of us. So maybe we should just cover sort of the high temperance rising, sort of just a generic flavor of what's going to happen. And look at here. So we are talking about today 15th for the next 29.5 days for the new moon. So when the activation, so here what we see in this card, right, it's basically we know that air is getting polluted on this planet, right? It's circulating around this planet, but you know, it can actually get really fierce at times, right? And when there is no movement, however, then atmosphere sometimes feels heavier, and kind of the breeze is maybe good to pollinate flowers, but you know, if we ever get into violent winds, it can kind of create chaos, and this is exactly what will be happening this period of time. It's going to be kind of these situations between breeze, because there is this whole kind of dance between Venus and Mercury and Gemini and Aquarius and Taurus. So we are going to have lots of air going on in this transition. So Uranus is a trickster who just kind of always is a prankster. So you can expect the unexpected. So if you guys have been lethargic, you're going to be no more. There are going to be so many things jumping to the fore that you guys have to basically attend them. So it's maybe good to start activating on our own, like walking in the nature, spending time with kind of like ability to kind of ground ourselves, sort of like doing this kind of things that Taurus is really known for, kind of like Earth's pleasure of the warm bath, you know, having that glass of wine, rewarding yourself, saying, hey, you're good, kind of like enjoying who you really are, right? Also kind of like wind is also musical, and music can activate our senses, and art can actually activate our responses. So it's a time for action and engaging in some kind of activity and kind of like being fully present. And then we have also stone people, and this is kind of like a really interesting card because it's also talking about vigilance. And you know, so here, when I first saw the card, I said, well, who are the stone people? Until I realized, duh, the stones, right? Because they're like so basically vigil, basically along the shores of an ocean, right? And sort of like they are almost there to protect us. They're almost here to guide us, right? So they are kind of like landmarks as well. So this whole area of this 29 days is asking for remaining vigilant, but not out of fear. So activate and sort of like stand up and fight, and flight if you really have to, because vigilant means opening up your mind and senses to information. We might be receiving information even that we don't want to hear, but it's going to be really beneficial for us. We will be able to see more, you know. I was blind, but now I can see. It's going to be really important, right? So this is going to be really true, especially in two main areas. First, you need to follow any gut feelings that can tell us to be kind of like wary about someone or something, you know, like when you kind of like go, you know, I don't know, something is really wrong and I cannot put a finger on it. We usually override that. And the second, pay close attention to an important opportunity that's going to present itself, and it's going to enhance not only our life but life of the others. So pay attention to the clues around you. It's going to be really important. So this is kind of a hiding, thank you, that's kind of going to be joint kind of like thing for everybody. And I'm not going to go in a great detail for every sign, but I'm just going to give you guidance. Brit, definitely going to the mountains now. Absolutely. Hiking. Look at you guys. I have been exhausted going hiking this weekend. So same here. Oh my gosh, like I mean the basically summer just like starts in Toronto, and just like that we kind of like almost have no spring. So we get this cherry blooms like in 3 days, and if you don't go and take pictures, off you go, wait for the next year. And I'm really feeling like I want to spend some time outside. So that's going to be really beneficial, right? So let's kind of see who is the first one. I said Taurus. Let's see. Give me the messages for Taurus for this new moon. Taurus, new moon. If you mods can actually just tell people where we are, because like now when I read, I look down. And Taurus, there you are. Oh my gosh, Taurus, guess what you got? You got love and compassion. And oh my gosh, I mean, all you need is love kind of a thing over here. Look at that. We have this pink and green, the heart chakra. So hands reaching toward each other, right? Through a heart. And definitely when we feel love in our heart center, then we also emit the healing energy of compassion and also attract love. Hi Pleiadian, Tauro, you are Taurus. Any love that you're planning, because it's just going to happen, right? Because, oh my gosh, you know, the electrical signals from the heart are about 60 times stronger than brains. And magnetic field of the heart is about 5,000 times more powerful, right? So keep in mind that thinking is becoming a little bit almost like a disease, right? And we kind of like overthink things. And this is kind of like telling, just go down deep, you know, whatever is, you know, the feeling that we are like feeling, don't allow thinking affect it, right? Whatever it is. So we magnify the fear, right? We kind of like exaggerate sadness. So kind of like try to just observe, Taurus, because oh my gosh, you're getting like this just beautiful, oh my gosh, the best card in a deck. It's also telling me that maybe there are some kind of wounds. Oh, Pleiadian Tarot, that's your birthday. There are wounds maybe that kind of like stem from kind of like some issues that could be that maybe there is like sort of like that record player that is kind of like stuck and keeps playing the same kind of song. And the route to healing this wound will be through cultivating love and compassion for every being of this planet. You know, kind of like Reiki, sense, Zen. Just love your plants, love your animals around you, love your children, love the people here on the board. This is kind of a good start, right? And true compassion requires not only the feeling of warmth that kind of like emanates when you kind of like, you touch others with your heart center, but also acts of kindness. And even if this simply means being just like a fully attentive listener, right? And that's going to be awesome. And let's see what else. Abuse as a child. You know what? I think that maybe that's what's going to happen. Your heart chakra usually gets damaged when you abuse as a child. And many of us have been. And this is like now this ability to understand that, hey, it hasn't been me, it's been then, and like be able to thread and saw all this kind of like holes on it and heal it. This is like that, such a good card, right? So I missed Megan. What happened? I didn't see that. Sex without drinking. That's thank you. Thank you. It really, really, really made me giggle. So it's a wrong partner, definitely. But let me see. Taurus. More messages for Taurus. Trust. I'm not going to read this because sometimes it's really, really weird. But trusting is really important. And honestly, I think this is calling for self-trust. It's calling for kind of like knowing who you are and where you want to go. And let's see. One more for Taurus. Ooh, you know what? Some of you Tauruses have been or are, because this is the opposite side of love, the devil, the codependency card, where you feel you have to. So that would be your drinking, Pleiadian Tarot. That would be drugs. That would be working too much. That would be partner wants too much, you're never getting your needs met, or somebody's pulling the strings, you're feeling like a marionette. This could be situations and circumstances with exes popping up and wanting what they want, how they want it, and not kind of like just stepping in you. These are psychopaths and narcissists and people who just are out there to damage you, not because they want to go out to damage you, even though that can be sadism in it, but because they are just damaged themselves, and the only way for them to feel that they're on top is like to put people down. In fact, I think it's calling for you to even love them, because these people need more love than anybody else, because these people are truly in hell, and they're probably going to be in hell for the rest of their lives, because this is a tough chain to break. And so I think you guys are getting new lease on life. You get to trust in yourself and also get to understand what are kind of like damaging habits over here. Whoa, very powerful message for you, Tauruses. So who is next? Gemini. 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 Yeah, you're dealing like you probably do. Thank you. Taurus is going to be dealing with a lot. So Gemini. Gemini. Message for Gemini. Gemini. Whoa, there we go. You get these general messages. The wind. Oh my gosh, Gemini. Usually you're a breeze. And with Uranus, and Uranus is the boss of Mercury. It's above Mercury. You might actually feel that this energy is going to be even higher than you, and you already have your energy, which is the highest. So it might feel like whenever you have that fluidity, moving from one side to another, an ability to see both sides of the story, but also ability to be devil's advocate over here, right? So you definitely need to get some energy inside of you. Wind is it can be turbulent, depending if you're in a rocket, on the airplane, or you know what kind of wind we are talking about. Is it a hurricane or a breeze? Let's see what are the other messages for. You have the 2 romantic feelings and let go of control issues. Well, this is going to be the must, because you're not going to be able to really control the situation. Gemini, literally, the wind card is telling me something is going to be out of your hands. Something is going to maybe even get introduced to you. Somebody who you didn't expect. If wind circulates so fast, right? And it might be just simply, oh, let me just notify people on Facebook. You're right, Lady and Tarot. I should do that. And look, it's showing me the old stuff. This is crazy. This kind of doesn't work properly. So they will think that I'm doing the reading, the old reading. Weird. It just doesn't do this properly. Anyway, I really feel, guys, that maybe some of you Geminis don't want new relationship. And it's going to just happen. It's just going to happen to you. It's going to be something that is going to really rock your world, or better to say blow your world. So one of those things. It's kind of pretty cool. Pretty heavy air, you're right. And it's not really typical for Geminis. They're really breezy. I always see Geminis as a, I mean, beach kind of wind, but this is going to be kind of like foundation, and anything that you're holding on is going to be just a little bit different. So let's see. Let's see, Gemini. And there you go. Look at the ships. You're watching, and this is that activation. This is like that active form. You guys are going to kind of like embrace some kind of activities, and something that could be, I don't know, even, you know, skydiving. But that's going to be kind of like very interesting, because if you don't try it first, then skydiving is definitely not for you. So be very careful of what kind of like things you kind of like figured out over here. If you're clumsy like me, then, you know, when you see these Facebooks, people walking on the edge, it's just like, oh my God, I am just seeing myself all the way down as a pancake. But this is the card of the ships, friendships, partnerships, relationships. You guys are going to probably look into that, look in everything that you have been through and what you are kind of experiencing. That's going to be interesting, positive, move forward. But it's going to kind of like be few upheavals, because you might be blamed that you're controlling, or, you know, you might blame somebody else to be controlling. So that's about you. So how many Cancers do you have over here? True, Aqua, Sun, Aries, Moon. Hey, Cat. Hey, thank you. Aquarius, Sun, Aries, Moon, Taurus rising. Oh my gosh, this is for you, True, Aqua, Sun, Aries, Moon, because this is kind of like a really interesting new moon. So that's what I'm doing this. So Cancer, 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 Cancer. And Sally has a Cancer moon. So yes, guys, your ascendant, your sun sign, and your moon sign, everything kind of counts. Cancer. I have to tell you that I started doing my monthlies today, and it just like really shows me a big shift, huge shift. So I'm actually excited, because I'm kind of like, I like change, but for people who don't like the change, just buckle up. Cancer. Oh my gosh, music and harmony. Oh my God, what a beautiful messages you're getting today. That's awesome. Oh, love interest is a Cancer. So, music to their ears. Okay, for Cancer. Attraction. Somebody has somebody in there, you know. crosshairs over here. Cancer. And look at that. So that could be Cancer. So it's kind of like interesting. We're starting with music. So I don't know if it's real or not real, but somebody posted on my Facebook that told that crickets were kind of slowed down, how they basically, you know, sing. And it was like this beautiful symphony. And then later, when I read, I wanted to double check, you know, that before I kind of posted it. So, oh, it's kind of fake. It's kind of like stuff. In any case, it was another thing that I saw with this woman who kind of like adopted a bee, a bumblebee, and it lived with her for about 5.5 months, which kind of like is living in the old age, and the bee didn't have the wings. And she kind of like observed the sounds and the music that she basically, you know, basically turned into friendship. It was her pet. It was just amazing. If you guys are not on my Facebook, you missed that, you know. So sound existed ever since we became any humans, ever since we were painting on the walls of the caves. I think sound was even more important, right? For them, it was to call the rain, to kind of like call the sun, and to kind of like evolve. It had a vibration in it, right? I even read that pyramids have been built with the help of the instruments that would kind of like generate certain vibrations of the sound to kind of do that. Because I think Cancer, this is going to be a time of considerable harmony for you, where kind of like certain high rigid elements of your life will be kind of like flowing together smoothly, right? And it's going to be sort of like interfacing of these elements that are going to kind of give you almost like a feeling of a bliss, right? You're going to notice more, almost like, look at this flower, look at this sensation, look at this emotion, look at this thought, right? And I would really say that, you know, whenever, for any reason, you start perceiving chaos around you, you have to understand that it's kind of like probably a mirror of your inner turmoil. And when you start recognizing this, start putting breathing inside of you, because the breathing is a natural music for our body. Maybe we don't hear it, but we can kind of like really do through it. Hi Camilla, this is really, really good. Like, oh my gosh, I love music, all kinds of music. And so I also think that sometimes we just become completely numb to the sounds from nature, and this is really calling for tuning in even to the birds, to the insects, the cats, and kind of like really pay attention to it. There is going to be attracting romantic love, or enjoying these moments, like stop and smell the roses, literally. The caveat is staying to yourself. The caveat is literally kind of like, do not sit on your box of goodies, because those goodies are much better enjoyed and you share them with others. Because yes, you may be safe and not hurt, but you also are not going to reap the benefits of the life. So get off that chair and go and kind of like put some real nice music and enjoy. So literally those beginning kind of messages, kind of guys, take a long bath, you know, pretty yourself, enjoy. It's going to be fun. You guys are going to have a good transition, so good for you. Under the radar in this kind of stuff. So let's see. I don't know what elements have I done. I think the next one is a Leo. We started at Taurus. So Leo. I love hearing cat purr too. I also like birds chirp, and I think they have proven that this has healing properties, that you can even heal and heal bones, broken bones. Leo, oops, oh my gosh. So what do we have? Fire and ebb and flow. It's interesting. I actually just finished Leo reading, and they had Milky Galaxy, and this was for Virgo, and this was for Leo as well. Oh my gosh, this is like almost like weird. You deserve love. They had this card. Anyway, Leo, let me get one more here. I don't know, I'm almost like feeling Sagittarians as well. Energy here, lots of fire, but it's lots of water energy here. So for those of you who are dealing with this energy, this is really important, because ocean has this ebb and flow, right? The moon is regulating this water back and forth, but it's kind of interesting that we have both ocean and fire, which seemingly are two extinguishing elements, right? But here we have this archer saying, look, go for it. It looks like it's everything over here that can be kind of like done. This is definitely telling me that you have lost passion for something, that you got caught in this ebb and flow of life, and one day started to seep into another, and it just kind of like maybe got you stuck in the rut. You have to discover the fire in your belly, Leo, and fire is like really essential. If you don't have fire and you are fire element, it's almost like you're as well a candle that kind of stop, like, I mean, burning. And it is asking you to still pay attention to what is needed. But here you also have the sun and saying, look, you have to start getting clarity. You have to activate, and you have to have that arrow kind of like be this archer, knowing where you're going. And looks like if you guys are after somebody, and that somebody could be fire sign or water sign. There you go, Expeditor Dean. Like, that's your Leo stalker or something, you know, will happen over here. So let me see one more card. Well, do you know where water and fire meet? In volcano and lava. And so something can be really hot and really steamy over here. So we have 8 of Wands reversed. So this is telling me 8 of Wands are love arrows, right? It's kind of like those messages. It could indicate travel. But maybe because it's reversed, it could be either delayed, or maybe you're going to feel uncomfortable to release this. Maybe this is relating to this love and fire and passion. You know, there's definitely this kind of like mix over here. Something maybe stemming from the past, that kind of like these elements mixed, and maybe something didn't happen, and maybe right now you're kind of like going back and kind of like calling them and saying, look, I need to summon you, I really need to be here. So you guys are going to sort of assert yourself in this time period, and it's kind of almost a must, just like this activation, the wind that we got, and being stoic, like with the stone people. Here you more or less have an ebb and flow, kind of like smooth things, smooth these big stones. So sort of like almost a corollary to that kind of like rule. So your ex-wife Aqua and Aries rising. Wow. Water and fire makes steam. You're right. That's also very true. And that's not as dramatic as volcano. So who is next? We are at Virgo. Virgo. Oh my gosh, Sunflower Girl. No kidding. That's amazing. Fire! I cannot play anything because they're going to kick my my thing down. You didn't miss Aqua, Brooklyn. Virgo. I didn't even see what jumped. Maybe should have grabbed this. Virgo. Let's go with this. Oh my gosh, again, you deserve love. Oh my gosh, love is everywhere. I love it. Virgo moon. I think I have some Virgo in the outer planets tree. Oh my gosh. And this is like in this deck, both front and back. This is a very good card, and it couldn't be better for you being an earth sign. So let's see. Virgo. Violet Jaguar, oh my gosh, this card to me, I know that you guys are hermit, but whenever I see 8 of Pentacles, I go, oh, Virgo is in the house. Because this is telling me about being detail-oriented, this is telling me about being diligent, looking in the fine details, kind of like in the fine, calm, kind of like passing through everything. It's definitely kind of a card about fulfillment. And I think Virgo, this also could represent work, and maybe also paying attention to your finances, I would say, but I also think that you kind of like, this is definitely a grounding energy, because the tree is, you know, the balance between heaven and earth, and this is what they really want to talk about it, right? Because this is like symbiotic energy that we have with trees, because their leaves breathe in carbon dioxide and breathe out oxygen, which is kind of like a vital for us, and we actually do the opposite. This is why it's very good to have plants at home, especially if you're not a smoker and if you kind of like really like to purify the things, right? And the trunks and roots planted themselves firmly in the soil, and they're kind of like receiving gifts of another kind of kinds of nourishment. So this is kind of like this kind of like twofold direction, right? So Virgo, have you been scattered or maybe spacey lately? Maybe you're not fully in your body here, and maybe you're not able to get grounded. So I think you somehow disconnected from the source, from this kind of like feeling of that you deserve love. Maybe you have fallen and you feel this is not going to happen to me. So guys, get yourself grounded. You can do it very simply, you know, just plant your feet firmly on the ground, and, you know, just like feel that these are your roots you're putting down, and each time you inhale, kind of like get this like nurturing power of Earth Mother inside of you, right? And just really go outdoors. You're getting this like really thing, or stand with your back supported by a tree. I like to hug trees, and trees are like giving this amazing energy, right? And walking barefoot is really important. I think you need to pay attention to your health, and you need to pay attention to who you really are and what is really important to you, and understand that, you know, you have to recharge, rebreathe in your energy. And I think this is kind of the key over here, like finding the strength in you to kind of like dust off and continue moving further. And that kind of like probably is the energy over here. So, okay, who is next? Libras. Let's see what we have for Libra over here. Libra. Barefoot is the best. Oh my gosh, there is like this magnetic energy that we apparently, with that magnetic energy, we can heal quite a bit and remedy quite a bit. But most of us, we always have running shoes or something on when we go out, or flip-flops, so we are completely kind of like isolated from that energy. So it's very important. And I also hope, Brooklyn, that everybody's good. Thank you for reminding one. That's kind of important to kind of like stop and smell the roses. How is everybody doing, guys? Are you okay? So Libra, Team Libra. There you go, Libra. Oh my gosh, Gaia, nurturing. Oof, this is also major message. So let's get more here. And I'm Libra rising as well, which can create problems. There we go, we have more Libra risings. This one wants to come out, and this one, pay attention to the red flags. And attraction, again, nurturing. This is like absolutely amazing, because let me get to it. Libra. And we have the Emperor reversed. So Libra, like you went through some kind of destabilization. I think with getting pay attention to the red flags and the Emperor, it is like definitely telling me that you kind of lost control over something, or you will be losing control over something. So there it is. Like, I think the Gemini had this kind of like, okay guys, it's not going to be breezy. I think I have the same thing here. Somebody might be kind of interfering with your life, but on the other side, on the other hand, this could be actually positive development. It could be kind of attraction for somebody that is kind of developing, and maybe you're not willing or you're not ready for it. That kind of like can do, because what is Gaia? It's like that Earth Mother, right? and she's basically Earth, right? She's like a Earth goddess, right? Daughter of chaos, right? She was basically the mother and a wife of Uranus, which is heaven. And Uranus also kind of entered Taurus today, and so there is a prankster, kind of like bull in the china shop, kind of like with all this kind of like fireworks in there. So you can just imagine it's going to be lots of kind of broken glass around that. So the nurturing is going to be really, really important. I think Libra, you need to learn how to receive. That's what this is telling me. And make it as intentions that, you know, you have to be make whole, and you kind of like have to open your heart to it, because there is like something that kind of like destabilizes you, that kind of like is making you fearful of engaging going forward, right? Maybe there is like childhood conditioning over here. Maybe you have some kind of habit that you need to overcome. Maybe, like, I mean, there are issues that you have to deal with at present, but this is telling me that your wounds will be healed. And it's definitely not only that you need to nurture yourself, but in this period of time you need to allow and even demand that others nurture you. So what basically comes to mind is like kind of like maybe forget about kind of your ritualized habits, right? And instead kind of like lie on the earth, right? And relax on the earth. Enjoy things where you feel that you belong, where you feel that, you know, you are safe, because there is like this feeling of safety that basically is being healed and addressed. But then right after that, oh my gosh, you're free to kind of like fly. This attraction is here and something will happen. It could be somebody in the sign of Aries coming over here, or another Libra, but it could be just somebody who might appear to be very destabilizing, but you're going to be healed. It's not going to be a problem anymore. So yeah, please give me the thumbs up. That always kind of like helps. It's not so much that I get money from it, because I get, I don't know, about 1/10 of a cent per each like, so not much, but I kind of like to see how good is the term that I have chosen. And so we are going in Scorpio. Scorpio. So let's see what Scorpio is going to have. There is good Temperance rising. Scorpio. The messages for Scorpio. There you go. Messages. Forest. Breath. Amazing messages. It's kind of like I'm feeling all this air, like, and that was like the just generic message that you can see me circulating on the right side of the screen over here. Scorpio. Oh my gosh, is there anything else? Yeah guys, I can afford to buy a new deck, but I love this deck, so my apologies. It says love yourself first. Scorpio, did you neglect yourself? Because this is a very similar message. Breath, it's that exchange of oxygen. So it was, one was a tree, another one is a forest. This is just a more magnified message, kind of like you need more cleanse, you need to connect, you need to disconnect. And this also tells me, are you guys too much connected to your devices, you know, and losing sight about kind of like that exchange? Or is somebody worrying you that you kind of like feel that you have to do certain things? Because this is telling you to stop and breathe. You need to address yourself. I think you guys neglected yourself, and this is kind of like really coming through strongly. I don't think they're dangerous. They're very sweet. Yeah, look at that. You need to take a breather. You need to like relax. And also when you're relaxing, it is very important to kind of like give your thanks and kind of connect, giving your thanks for everything that you think of. You know, I have this gratitude diary next to my bed, and every day I kind of like write things that I'm grateful for. Grateful for having food on the table, a roof over my head, and healthy pets, right? I'm grateful for having whatever, you name it in your life. This is kind of like actually generating that healthy stage where, you know, you are realizing that you are loved. This is all telling me, Scorpios, that you kind of like are having certain doubts, or that you're not supported, but also that you're getting healthier if you're already like on the path of repairing it, because this is definitely talking about breathing in this like kind of freshness, this oxygen, and also understanding the symbiotic relationship that whenever we take something, we also give something back, and that kind of like works the best that can be. Oh, you like your gratitude journal? I just love it. I bought it when the Secret movie came out, and I have it stamped with Secret on it, and I'm still writing it. So, Sagittarius. 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 The messages for Saggies. And here we have the music again. Sagittarius, Capricorn. No, what was it? The Cancer, I think. Okay. Harmony. Well, this is a repeat. That sounds calm. Sagittarius. Sagittarius. This one wants to come out. The heart-to-heart conversations. And Sagittarius. Sagittarius. Wow. Who had it? Well, that was a Virgo, I think. This is like just really amazing. So first of all, universal message. Please check Cancer, because Cancer had its card. This is really basically messages to actually understanding the language of the nature, which is music. And the language of the universe is harmony. Love as well, but I think harmony more so, because again it talks about this kind of symbiotic exchange, that giving and taking, it's becoming so really beneficial. Here it is talking about not only the sounds from the musical instruments, but the sounds, to pay attention about everything that is going on, sort of like being more in the moment, more kind of like in like arm's length of what is going on. Sagittarians might either reveal their feelings to someone or seal something. It really feels that Sagittarius are going in a new direction, that you are still not sure in which direction you are going, because the ships over here that we see is sort of friendship, relationship, partnership. It could be talk at work, it could be talk at home, it could be simply positioning yourself and understanding your needs better, and just basically clarifying, this is what I need. It says honestly discuss your feelings with each other. Maybe there is somebody already in a game with whom maybe so far everything worked, but maybe they want to take it a step further and you don't, or vice versa. Maybe there are things from the past that, you know, are being brought back to the surface, because Uranus can kind of like upset the equilibrium. It's just like Safi kind of landing on a table and everything kind of falls off. That's kind of the feeling. So in any case, you are known for your honesty, and I think the honesty is going to be the name of a day for this period. And I think it is the key to be honest but not cruel, because honesty without wrapping it properly and saying it properly is cruelty. So I think the key over here is like, how do you move forward with accomplishing what you want and being true to yourself but also to the other people, and how to do it the most harmoniously that you can do. So that would be you, Saggies. So I was previously giving too much, no longer doing that anymore. You know what? I learned that lesson too. And I didn't realize that English has that proverb saying, no good deed goes unpunished. And I think the reason why we get punished is like there is not exchange of the energy, and it kind of like starts to make sense a lot. your son is Sagittarius and his fiancé we're getting married this weekend. Oh boy. So it's going to be like, I mean, kind of probably the cold feet the last moment, but it looks like both of them will do really well. Observing a new potential relationship, I have sealed the old and just sitting on the mountain assessing inner feelings and diplomacy. That's actually funny. This resonates more than Scorpio. Okay. Yeah, as I said, your sun sign, your ascendant, your moon sign, and all three for the cross-watching, also their Mars sign. Who is next? Capricorn, 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 Capricorn. What is this? Waterfall and Milky Way. That's interesting because this came for Leo and its perspective. It is talking about understanding our position, understanding that maybe we are making something too big of it, or maybe you're feeling we are too important, or maybe we have lost our center. And it is asking of you to release this. Waterfall is definitely talking about, look, water always finds the flow. And when we as people kind of like do things, we kind of complicate things. Oh, let me try that and that and that. Water never stops here and think, let me think about it. It simply kind of like flows through it. So it's just like asking you to simply kind of go with this flow and make this, you know, and I think this is like really talking about emotions for you Capricorns, because something that you actually put an effort in it, it's almost like backfired and you have lost your perspective on what is important over here. Let me see, Capricorn. It is safe for you to love. Yes. Open your heart and give and receive the highest energy of all. Yeah, I think sometimes we overly intellectualize. We want everything on that list to kind of like have the check mark on it. And in the process, we forget that we are dealing with somebody's heart, with somebody's feelings, and that all it matters is how this person really makes us feel. And really, like, I mean, if we can engage on the same level of energy. So it's going to be kind of interesting because one is like so withdrawn, one is like right here on Earth. It is kind of like calling for you to Capricorn to kind of like, hey, you know, put things in perspective, kind of like see where, you know, maybe from a different point of view things, and don't make it too hard on yourself, Capricorn. And we have 8 of Cups. So whatever it was, there is going to be some kind of very kind of like this dedication to find what is the best for you. Maybe this also means that you have been with somebody with whom you had to put lots of effort in, and it was like sort of like a sugar baby or one of those, you know, what they call it, high maintenance people. And you kind of like are going to figure out that maybe this is not the best mate that you have, or you're going to start avoiding like a plague this kind of stuff, and yet you're going to realize it's no fault of your own. It's just like the match is not there. And even though you put probably lots of hard work in this, it's going to be okay, it's my time to check out. I need to kind of go because, you know, I have to figure out what is the best for me. The 8 of Cups is again talking about motion, about looking for the different things. This is not to say that we cannot come back and revisit the situation later. So kind of like going out and finding perspective is going to be really something that Capricorn is going to be addressing throughout this period. Okay, that kind of like was interesting. So Capricorn is going to be a big thinker over here. So let me see. Yes, went back to old girlfriend. She's a narcissist. Oh, you're a man somewhere in Time Tarot? Manipulating, or a girl? Sorry. Doesn't have to be. For some reason I thought you're a woman. And just bad news. He has to learn the hard way again. She has to learn the hard way again, I guess. Or he has to learn. Oh, somebody else maybe. Okay, I'm lost. Okay, we can show this Brooklyn. This is not so bad. So let me see. Now we are going to Aquarius. Please let it be good. Please let it be good. No, I'm not this mother. Look, I'm your father, kind of a thing. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Lisa. That is very sweet of you. And by the way, my school started and second group already. And I'm actually very excited. They just got their first lessons. So last call, anybody really wants to. But let's, for now, check Aquarius. Aquarius messages for this new moon. That's going to be interesting. I really want to see what Uranus is going to do to us. Oh my gosh, like does it have to be 5 cards? Of course, tsunami. Okay, wow. Blah. Crystals, focus, forest breath, lake stillness, and tsunami wake up call. So it's going to be pretty much everything in a book. It's Aquarius, expect the unexpected. The only common thread here I see is focus. Have your crystals, do your meditations every day. Make sure that you have that proper breathing, because this is asking for us Aquarians to, I guess, being Uranus, coming forward. Tsunami is something that kind of like starts to act rhythmically and kind of pulls away, and that's why people kind of cannot see it, because it's happening in such a vast kind of like stretch of the ocean. And then when the waves start to be so big and so dangerous, it's usually too late. Because it's a full moon, I think something for Aquarians are going to culminate during the full moon. So ouch, that will be the 29th of this month, that kind of like we have to watch. Free ourselves. It's interesting, for the others it was like release the control, and here it's saying take control back. Understand what is good part, and understanding like how to kind of like really get out, be different, be free. And Aquarians love to be free, and it's kind of like a biggest flaw that we have, because it's kind of like really hard to get this. Just like somebody captured this unicorn, we kind of like don't perform well on this. And let me get one more for Aquarius. Wake up call is a biggie. So I guess we are waking up from a dream. We maybe entrapped ourselves over here, and this is really calling kind of like Aquarians, get it. Aquarians, get a grip. Aquarians, kind of like look inside, pay attention. And we have the strength reversed. The strength reversed means we'll have to deal with inner strength, with kind of going deep inside, with it's kind of like vibrations similar to Korean card the star, but lesser. It is talking about kind of how we interact with the others, and this can actually talk about overly aggressiveness and going from overly numb to aggressive. So I think we are definitely breaking any kind of like chains around us. So I guys advise, if which card is this? This will be the strength reversed. Aquarians are not going to be so much fun to be around, I have to tell you, because with them you're going to feel almost like the full impact of this Uranus. It can be still one moment, and the next moment everything will be in turmoil. It's going to be okay for Aquarians, but not for people around them. So I have to announce this, I guess, to everybody. So yeah, we need to work on aggressiveness, because this is kind of a fire, and with this kind of like much stuff around, it's going to be maybe too much. So it can be kind of like brutal way, almost like of demanding our freedom, which could mean that some Aquarians are going to become single, because either Aquarians might break up with someone, or somebody might break up with them with being obnoxious, basically, right? Sorry, but it's just kind of how it looks like. Okay, for Aquarians it is, because we Aquarians, we kind of are used to our being changeable and difficult and different, and we kind of live it at our lives, which all of you are going to now experience now during this transit. You're going to see what means being Aquarius, and that's why kind of like Aquarius is just like in the eye of the storm all the time. So yeah, sorry on behalf of Aquarians out there. Exactly. So let's see. Pisces. Pisces are going to bring a little sweetener to this particular new moon, so it can be kind of interesting. Yeah, I already know when to bite and I have to work on this, I guess, more, you know, to sedate myself. Drinking, I guess I'll start drinking. You know, I told you that the best way about, you know, to cure being drunk is like, you know, cure a hangover is like just continue being drunk, right? I'm kidding. Fish. We have dawn, new beginnings. And this is a lovely card. All lovely cards are coming out. Only Aquarian got tsunami, for goodness sake. Okay, let's see. Pisces. Pisces. You know what is good for sedating yourself? Epsom salt bath. And what is this? White tea. Some kind of like a licorice tea is really good as well. And nice music. Candles, kind of like how all these different elements, crystals around you, that always helps and kind of like really balances out. Acupuncture is also good. Okay, Pisces. Huh. Interesting, Pisces. You have new beginnings, right? So the dawn is showing up as a card, and so what we basically see here is start of a day, and you know what they say is the darkest before the dawn, right? So finally we start seeing something getting brighter and brighter and brighter. So finally we know the night is finally done, and this first light is kind of showing the sun, and it's waking up the birds, and they kind of like have this sun salute in their own way. I don't know if you've ever seen it, right? How they line up, right? So I think here this is talking about shadows of something new showing up to you. You're going to start seeing gradually that something is becoming more clear to you, that there is like this light coming in your life, and the world is like kind of like slowly starting to make more sense to you. It is kind of time for you, Pisces, to say goodbye to all things and releasing any kind of like self-imposed constraints or maybe resistance to any kind of possible even truths that kind of like have to be embraced, right? So if you know you have been thinking about someone, or if you have been thinking about a new project, it is time to do that. Don't be shy. This is saying express your love. Just make sure you do it. It might be interesting because it's going to be a challenge for you in a sense, as you have the Five of Wands. As we see it in this card, kitty cats are like kind of playing and fighting, and everybody's trying to outdo somebody else, while the mouse is going to run away in the situation. So when this reverses, it talks about not creating situation that can create circumstance, and then everybody loses everything. So kind of like try to be open, and to kind of like maybe somebody's making a romantic gesture toward you. It's just like saying, okay, if you even don't want to date, just kind of like exercise this new beginning. Start being open to new circumstances and start pulling threads and see where these threads go. If you have been arguing with someone, maybe just simply drop them, or maybe just simply telling them that you love them. It's going to simply just repair the situation, because this is definitely new moon, new beginning. It's very, very important. Remember that we had stone people and the wind as like two main cards, so this kind of like really suits well with this. And we are the last sign. Thank you, Dean, appreciate that. So Aries. Aries, you also, Mars is entering Aquarius, and that's kind of like, can you imagine? So Aries, so Mars is entering Aquarius, Uranus is entering Taurus, so it almost looks like Aquarius has hands in all the pies. So what can go wrong with the trickster and like with the Mars with aggression? Oh my God. So let's see, Aries, what's going to happen with you, to you, Aries. And then you have Gaia, nurturing. Again, there is like this feeling of change. Have you neglected yourself recently? Are you worn out, ran out, ran down? This is not typical for you, but it could mean, because we just finished your transition and we are in Taurus, so it could be that you're now recharging. That kind of like does make lots of sense to me. But nurturing is needed. As I said, I don't know which sign this Gaia was, both back and forth. Not only that you need to nourish yourself, but nurture yourself. You definitely need to demand that others sort of like nurture you as well. Kind of cocky aquas. No, cookie would be probably better. And look at this, attraction again came out here. And what else do I have for Aries? Aries. And there we go, this card upright. And this one also wants to talk. Queen of Wands. And that could be you guys. So I think there is somebody new inside, and that somebody new might have a few other people who are waiting for his or her attention. And it's something that you like. It's a challenge. It's somebody that maybe you wanted for quite a while. And maybe it is even somebody who you didn't even pay attention to before, and all of a sudden maybe you didn't pay attention because you just like felt you were not in their league. You just kind of don't have a shot. But right now, almost like I think you're this little kitty over here, you kind of have a shot at someone. It's telling me that don't overdo things. The Queen of Wands is like too much of a show off and too little of an essence. Too much of, look at me, kind of like I can jump, and then next thing you know, yeah guys, this new moon can talk about trouble, accidents. Be very, very careful. So if you're going into something else, don't do it in an ordinary way like you always do. You chase, or you kind of like really like that initial kind of like kind of dating and mating kind of ritualistic thing. But this time it is calling for you to kind of approach this differently, to kind of approach it in a gentle way, push and pull, kind of like feeling the energy is good, because maybe the other person is not feeling fully comfortable with things and simply just going with the flow, or maybe it is you, and that's why the card is reversing. Because when the Queen of Wands reverses, the energy is generally clingy, or sometimes even aggressive. And aggressive wouldn't really surprise me, because it looks like on one hand you need nurturing, but on the other hand it's going to be that tornado and tsunami on your behalf as well. And nonetheless, guys, somebody new, something new is coming over here. Well, Queen of Wands has always sunflowers in the picture. She's usually holding one sunflower because she like whole kind of center of the universe, right? Kind of like going around. She also has daisies, and she has a black cat, and this is like Queen of Wands cat or Matrix. That cat talks about not everything has to be sad, but this person usually blurs everything out, and hence she can be very demanding, kind of like very bitchy, very high maintenance. And so I don't know if that's going to be you, Aries, or something, or maybe you can come across to the others without even understanding this and create conflict. So keep in mind, if something happens, that just simply boundaries have to be established, and eventually that's going to start turning around when you nurture yourself. So guys, that is for me tonight. And if you can, check the other videos that is already uploaded on my site about the new moon. I gave you a little bit more information about this turbulence that you might be experiencing, but it looks like some signs will simply have no turbulence. They're just going to go under the radar and stay there. So good for you. So thank you very much for everybody being here. And if anybody is interested in my private readings, you know where to find me, cattarot.ca. Thank you so much, and looking forward to your comments. And if you can, guys, please stamp, and that kind of is helpful for me. Until the next time, your monthlies are coming really, really soon. So stay well, my friends, and all the best. Enjoy this like new moon in Taurus transit. Love ya.